So my number two film is 1998's The Mask of Zorro. So this is directed by Martin Campbell, starring Antonio Banderas, Anthony Hopkins, and Catherine Zeta-Jones. IMDb plot summary: a young thief seeking revenge for his brother's death is trained by the once great aging Zorro, who is pursuing his own vengeance. So the reason why I put this film on the list is that for me, one of the key things about the summer, especially growing up, were summer movies. I would be looking forward to them throughout the year. There was a special, I think nowadays it's sort of these movies can kind of come out any time of the year. There really is no concept of summer movies anymore. But when I was growing up in the 90s, there definitely was this time where, between Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day weekend, there'd be all the big 4-quadrant, popcorn blockbusters that were made to entertain every member of the family. So we would go out to the movies as a family a lot during the summer because there were movies that we all could agree to go see because they were made kind of for everyone. It wasn't just, oh, this is the adult drama or this is the animated film for kids. It was really that time. And I picked this movie in particular because I feel that it really just encapsulates a lot of what blockbuster 4-quadrant filmmaking was. It was a representation of that. There are a lot of other movies I could have picked. Independence Day, I think, falls in that category. Men in Black, all from this time period, late 90s, and maybe that's just because the age I was in. But yeah. So what made this summer movie special? Like I said, there's anticipation. So throughout the spring, there'd be all these specials. Oh, what summer movies are coming out? I'd always associate that with the summer. I get a calendar out, mark all the dates in the calendar of when all the movies are coming out, planning to go with what group of friends or, my sisters would be interested in this. We go as a family to a couple movies every summer. And this movie, again, had kind of everything. It got the action, great, classic story, a hero's journey. So it's nothing kind of complicated. It's very satisfying and makes you feel good just to, consume something that is so classic. You got a little bit of romance. Catherine Zeta-Jones, not her first performance, but definitely star-making performance there.
Incredible.
And she burns off the screen with her, the sexiness and the screen presence, and which is actually another thing too that I feel like is kind of missing from movies, that sense of sexiness. And it's just been so stripped out of movies nowadays that back in the the 90s, you want a little bit of that in your summer blockbuster. Villain that is very clearly a villain, like he's the bad guy. There's nothing kind of complicated there, so it's very easy for young kids to follow it. Based on an IP, like people know who Zorro is. It was definitely around in the consciousness in here in the US, so it's something that everyone can know what you're getting before you get in there. And it's funny, like there's some funny quips and one-liners, and it's got a little something for everyone is what I'm trying to say, which is definitely something I associate with summer movies, and summer blockbusters were a very important part of my summer experience as a kid. So this movie represents a lot of films, but I felt this would be a fun one to put on the list.
Got it. Yeah, I was wondering why you have this on the list. Like, do you have a connection with Zorro? Were you in Mexico? And I was trying to kind of think on a thematic level, why is this movie on your list? So, okay, that explains.
Summer block. It could have been Con Air. It could have been Independence Day. It could have been Godzilla, movie I didn't like, but I was looking forward to. So yeah, it's like the representation of summer movies, which is, I cannot separate my summer experience growing up from blockbusters.
Got it. Yeah, I'd never seen this movie before because I just assumed this was bad. I guess I was, kind of a prickly moviegoer even as a teenager. I probably was, but I watched it a few weeks ago in preparation for this podcast, and I had a really good time. I was so impressed by how good this movie was. Super entertaining, tight story, brilliantly crafted, the special effects, action sequences of the horse and everything really holds true. The cast is great, everybody. Two big observations that made me chuckle and smile and laugh. Yeah. Number one, Catherine Zeta-Jones, amidst all the trials and tribulations, not a blemish, not a speck of dirt on her face.
No, yeah, she's got to look good.
I mean, the town is burning down around her. Nothing. And oh, by the way, she's having this dialogue with the father, or spoiler alert, her biological father. Right. And then they lock him up, Anthony Hopkins, and then she comes later to kind of free him up. New outfit, new necklace.
Right. Of course.
You had to go back and change before you can free your dad up.
Yeah, see, this is the kind of stuff. Loud. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff you get in these movies where it's like, that's what you want, though. You want to see her in different outfits. You don't want to see her look messy.
No.
That's why you're paying the $5 to see Catherine Zeta-Jones. Yeah,
exactly. It's so great. And then number 2, Anthony Hopkins. Oh my goodness. So either he looks like a prissy gay pirate with the goatee and the long hair, laughable and tons of eye makeup, laughed out loud completely. I'm like, why are you in this movie to begin with?
Yeah.
And when he's not that and hair tied back, it looks like Susan B. Anthony. Also very hilarious. I mean, we were just laughing out loud. I'm like, why are you in this movie? Zeta-Jones at least sort of passes as somebody who's Latina. They've bronzed her up like crazy.
Yeah.
So, I gave that a pass. But this one, I'm like, also, why are you speaking in a British accent?
I know.
We are in Mexico. What is happening? I don't know. It was very laughable, but in like a sweet kind of a way.
It's like cheesy, you kind of know what they're doing, but it's not, it doesn't get in the way of the story. It kind of elevates a little bit. And again, I think that's what these blockbuster popcorn cheesy movies do. I would not say
elevate, but yes, entertain.
Entertain. That's a better way to say it. It makes you more entertaining. Yeah, exactly. Hopkins is just like, what are you kind of doing in this? I actually don't remember at what point he came in, because this movie is directed by Martin Campbell, who's directed like GoldenEye and Casino Royale. Right. There's another of those three. Like he does know how to do a popcorn movie, action movie really well. But originally it was supposed to be Robert Rodriguez, and he's the one who brought in Banderas, because he was like, we have to have a Latino actor playing this role, because they were trying to get white actors in there, and maybe Anthony Hopkins was left over from the previous regime or something. But yeah, he's funny in this. He stands out, but in like an endearing way. But yeah. Good observation. Oh, great score too. I want to shout out to James Horner, one of my favorite scores. I listen to this all the time, especially in the summer. Actually, when I'm at the beach, for some reason it's a score I put on. But I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked the film.
It was really fun. Great costumes and the big, I don't know, villa or wherever they stay. I love that. Like the kind of the rusty red walls. That was pretty great. So, but yeah, Susan B. Anthony and prissy gay pirate. I cannot get that out of my head.
Maybe that's where his pirate performance might have been where Johnny Depp got some Jack Sparrow from. Maybe. Yeah, and
the black tights and the eye makeup. I mean, come through.
Yeah. Hey there, it's Alex. If you like the review and discussion Karan and I just had, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Movies That Shaped Us, to get full episodes. Every other Wednesday, Karan and I cover a topic around important people, places, events, and moments in our lives, and then explore it through 3 of our favorite movies. Subscribe right now, or follow our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts via the link in the description below. Hope you join us for the journey.